going on, guys? Time for top 8 predictions after round 20 of the 2023 NRL season. We're getting close. Is your team going to make it? Is your team going to win the minor premiership, finish top 4 or miss out on the 8? I'm about to tell you. Because I've done these the last couple of years and absolutely nailed them. Last year we literally picked 1 to 8. I didn't record it. I wish I had it on video, but we picked 1 to 8 in exact order, and even had Broncos missing out on the top 8 last year. So this does work predominantly. Numbers don't normally lie. They can lie, but they don't normally. And I just want to prerequisite this by saying that if I have your team finishing a little lower than you think they're going to, or missing out on the 8 entirely, it's not because I hate your team or it's my opinion. I'm just going on numbers. This is just numbers, zero emotion, guys. So I don't think I hate your team, guys, if I don't have yous in. All right. Now, let's have a look at the top 8 quickly before if we added in buys. So Broncos out on top. So we're looking more at the wins rather than the points, and that's where they're sort of sitting. We've got games remaining. Winning percentage over the last 10 games. I feel like 10 games is a good sample size or form. I know a lot of people do 5, but I mean, in 5 games, you can play 4 home games against bottom 8 teams. I mean, to me, it's not long enough. 10 games to me is a good sample size. Number of top 8 teams remaining and win percentages over top 8 teams as well. Now, before we go into it, it does normally take... They're saying about 13 games will get you into the top 8. But if we have a look at last year, it actually took 14 games for the Raiders to get in. You can see Broncos there had 13 wins last year. And the year before that, that would have actually got you into 7th spot. So it's tough. It really is. But I think 13 could get you in the 8, but you might be in a battle for 4 and against. And 14 wins should make you in the 8. Okay, so that means in your last 7 games you accumulate 8 points. You 4 wins, 3 losses, or whatever. That should get you into the top 8. It should, sort of thing. So, yeah, we'll have to go with that because it's obviously a strange year with the 3 buys and the extra team and all that sort of stuff. It has thrown a little bit of spanner in the works. So hopefully it doesn't throw off my numbers too much, but it might. You never know. All right, let's have a look at runs home real quick. So we've got Broncos who are on top. They've got Bunnies this weekend, Roosters, Cowboys, Para, Raiders in Canberra, ouch, and then Storm as well. That's a tough run home. In fact, I believe they have the most. They've got to play 5 top 8 teams out of their last 6 games. So pretty tough run home. I mean, these tough runs home can be good or bad. They can be bad because if you lose them, you drop down the 8. But if you win them, it's perfect. It primes you for the finals. You've just beaten a bunch of top 8 teams. You're about to play more top 8 teams in the finals. So Broncos fans, it's not all bad. If you come out on top and win all those games, you're looking juicy. Penny. All right, we have Bulldogs, Sharks, Storm, Manly, Titans, Para, Cowboys. Tough. 4 top 8 teams there. We've got the Storm, have Knights, Para, Penrith, Raiders, Dragons, Titans, Broncos. Pretty tough there too. Wars are flying high. Wars are the hottest team in the comp, and they have the easiest run home. They've got the Raiders, who are their only top 8 team that they play on their run home, and they smoked them the last time they played them in Canberra. So they've got Canberra, they've got Titans, they've got Tigers, they've got Sea Eagles, they've got Dragons, and they've got the Dolphins. All right, on to Canberra. Okay, we've got Raiders. We've got Warriors, we've got Knights, we've got West Tigers, we've got Storm, we've got Bulldogs, we've got Broncos, we've got Sharkies. Pretty relatively tough there, guys. That's definitely not easy. They've got 4 as well, 4 top 8 teams as well. All right, so go to Sharkies. All right, so Sharkies have Sea Eagles, Penrith, Rabbitohs, Titans, Cowboys, Knights, Raiders. Tough, man. Tough run home. All right, Parramatta. Parramatta have Cows, Storm, Dragons, Broncos, Roosters, Panthers, and a bye. This bye could make or break them, finish in the top 8 for real. Parramatta have been a bit unlucky with the buys, so they didn't get any buys up until Origin time, and then the buys they did get in Origin time didn't fall on weeks where players would didn't help them with Origin selection. So, for example, last State of Origin, Cowboys had a bye the week before Origin, which means all their players, didn't have to, there was no game for them to play without all their Origin stars. So Parramatta got shafted, but with buys this year, they really did. But this could be their best friend for 2 reasons. It's guaranteed 2 points in the final round. So, you know what I mean? Say they're equal with someone and someone loses, they'll jump up. Or, if they're, maybe say they're sitting 9th and the team that finishes 8th loses, you know what I mean? They could jump up, sort of thing. So, could be their best friend. And not only that, a week off before the finals, that could be handy as well. So, I mean, with how shafted they got with the draw this year, this could end up being their best friend. So, I guess it all sort of could level out, but it might be too late. Look how many tough games we've got. Bronx, Panthers, Storm, Cowboys. Tough. South Sydney have a relatively easy run home. So they've got Broncos this weekend, and they get everyone back, as do Broncos, except for Flegs and Ricky, I think, are still out. Tigers, Sharks, Dragons, Knights, Roosters. Cowboys run home. All right, Cowboys have Para this weekend, Titans, Broncos, Sharks, Dolphins, and then, ouch, that's a rough last game. And I heard a few people saying, a few Cowboys were like, they'll rest players like they did last year. Last year, they were 3 or 4 games ahead of everyone, and they'd had a pretty battered seat. They've been, anyway. This year, they haven't really had any continuity. They're not leaps and bounds ahead of everyone. In fact, they're not even on top of the table. I don't see them resting players for this. I mean, they've just rested players this weekend. They've rested players through Origin and stuff like that. I dare say they're going to go ham for the final 6 or 7 games, whatever it is for them, sort of thing. So that's it. All right, so we'll go into the numbers now. So we'll go into these a little bit more detail. So some numbers here that really jumped out at me. Obviously, the Raiders for and against is putrid. The worst by a mile. I mean, Cowboys is the next worst, and they've got 100 points on them. How crazy is that? Panthers win rate over the last 10 games, 80%. Same as the Raiders. The other one that jumped out at me a lot too was the win percentage over the last 10. Rabbits have been the worst team over the last 10 games, but the games just before that they looked like the best team in the comp. So I've taken this with a little grain of salt. They get everyone back this week. Arrow, Latrell, Campbell, Graham. They've had a bye now. They've just come off a bye. Sorry, so they're primed. They're very, very primed. They should be good to go. All right, so top 8 teams remaining. So Broncos, like I said, have it toughest, and then Panthers, Storm, Raiders, Sharks, and Eels, all with 4 top 8 teams remaining, and Cows. And like I said, the Wars only 1 top 8 team to play, and it's a team they've torched this year already. So really, really good signs for the Rabbitohs and the Wars. They should shoot up real quick. All right, win percentages against top 8 teams. Now this jumped out at me too. Is it? Yeah, so Storm, 72% win rate against top 8 teams. That's ridiculous. That's so damn good. Now, Penrith is the same as the Broncos at 55%, but Penrith have lost. They had one comeback crazy win against the Bunnies got them, which I thought they should have won. But anyway, and then there was the Broncos by 1 point, Para by 1 point. So this could easily be 80%. Well, that's so that number's a little bit of a liar. But yeah, it's a bit scary how far ahead of the game I think they sort of are. It's actually a little bit freaky. But yeah, and that's it. So adding all these numbers up, so form, top 8 teams remaining, win percentages against those top 8 teams, and blah blah blah. We have the top 8. What do you reckon? Panthers, Storm, Bunnies, Wars, Broncos. I know Broncos are going to go, oh my God. look, 55% win rate against top 8 teams. They've got pretty much all top 8 teams left. They're probably going to drop a few games on the way home, man. They're probably going to drop a few games. Wars and Bunnies with flying high, with only playing 1 or 2 top 8 teams, and Sharkies I've got dropping out of the 8 in 9th position there. They're just this win rate against top 8 teams. Now it says 25% here. They actually haven't won a game against a top 8 team. They beat the Parramatta Eels when they had no players. I think it was in the second or maybe the first game. And then they've beaten the Cows at the very start of the year when they were missing everyone as well. So technically they have won games against top 8 teams, but they actually haven't, and haven't really looked close to winning games against top 8 teams, to be fair. I was really riding them high, and I thought they looked like world beaters. But if you actually look, at the Sharkies here, they got the Parramatta in round 2 when they were missing Madison, Sean, like they were missing everyone, sort of thing. Still like solid win, but 4-point win against injury ravaged Para was just crazy. And then they lost to the Raiders, and they lost to the Wars. And they beat the Cowboys convincingly, but again, Cowboys at this point in time were terrible. And then they sort of get into these top 8 teams, lost by 50. It's a lost by 40. Yeah, they've had some there was more than that. Sure, there was more than that. They got touched up. I thought they lost to the Panthers by heaps. Maybe it's just that game. But it's I don't know. They're just. I hate the flat track bully thing, but it does feel like that a little bit. It does feel like they're just missing that little something, and unfortunately, 10 wins. 10 wins. They've got 4 games against 6 games left. 4 of them against top 4 teams with a 25% win rate. Which again is it actually 25% win rate? Probably not. I don't see how. I see them dropping out real easy. Now, Parramatta could easily drop out as well, or this could be reversed, in my opinion. Parramatta have a pretty poor percentage, a pretty bad win rate against top 8 teams as well. They've got 4 top 8 teams to play too. Parramatta could easily drop out too. And I really want to see them play finals footy this year. I love watching Parramatta play. It's genuinely just it's going to be tough. Now, if they had Dylan Brown through this whole time, I think they probably could have, avoided a loss or 2 along the way. But it doesn't matter. Now, Broncos obviously, I think Broncos and Wars or Broncos and Bunnies could swap into like sort of 3rd or 4th. So I don't think these are set in stone either. Like last year I was like, this is how it's going to finish. This year that I definitely could see a little bit of slight moving parts in this a little bit. I could see, Bunnies or Wars being 5th and Broncos being 4th or 3rd, something along those lines. I think it's going to sort of finish somewhere around there. But I think that's it. And I think that's it. So I'll save this video. I'll save this screenshot or this spreadsheet, and we can have a look at it at the end of the year in 7 weeks' time and see if we nailed it. Right? We'll see if we nailed it, eh? How good. But pretty exciting, man. It's should be. I'm pretty pumped, man. So where's the draw? So some big games this weekend that could honestly, like 1 or 2 rounds could just fully throw what I said out of whack. But normally every team will win a game. This is what's funny about it, right? Like, if you look at all these numbers, like, so you look at the teams remaining, right, and the games remaining, every team will probably win a game they're probably going to lose, except for maybe Penrith. Remove Penrith from this conversation, but pretty much from Broncos, Storm, everyone down, I guarantee every single one of these teams just about is going to win a game they're probably going to lose, and lose a game they probably should have won. But that'll probably even it out, if that makes sense. And that's what I found sort of happens. Like, it just teams don't really stray away from their win percentages over the last 10 games. They just don't. It's just the sort of the way it goes. Obviously, there's a few anomalies in here like Penrith and stuff like that. But yeah, you'll just find that teams, whatever they've done over the last 10 rounds is roughly what they'll do over the next 10 rounds. So I know there's not 10 rounds left, but yeah, so interested, man. So let's see. We'll do it again. Panthers, Storm, Bunnies, Wars, Broncos, Raiders, Cows, Eels, Sharks just missing out. Thank you all so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.